Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to more marketing. Marketing and distributing a no budget film is, as I say, a very daunting task, challenging to get the movie in front of an audience, let alone a large one. But with a creative approach and no little effort on your and your team's behalf, it is possible to generate buzz around your film and get it seen. Before I jump in though, I'd also like to ask you again to consider why you're making this no budget movie and what you want to get out of it, because that will be quite a specific thing. Maybe you want an agent. Maybe you want to travel the world for 18 months doing the festival circuit. Maybe you want someone to fall for you. Maybe you want to make your parents proud. Maybe you want to be able to lift your head, show your face to a group of your peers. Maybe it's incredibly important to you that this particular story is told for personal reasons. Maybe you want a calling card that gives you a career. Maybe a combination or all or some of the above. None of these reasons are wrong. They're all valid. But I do feel it's important to at least have that conversation with yourself and prioritize your motives, because in the end, this will have a bearing on how you position that film and how well you cover your bases ready to go to market. All that said, here are some tips on how to market and distribute a no budget film. Again, there aren't going to be any surprises here. You already know much of this, but maybe it doesn't hurt to just go over it. Use social media. Social media is, as we know, an excellent tool for promoting your film. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all great places to start. Most importantly, engage with your followers by responding to their comments and their questions, and use hashtags to help content reach a wider audience. If you intend making more films though, really consider making yourself the brand so that you don't have to go from ground zero when you start the next one, because they're all following you and not the name of your old movie. Create a trailer. A trailer is a great way to generate buzz. Once you have your trailer, share it on your social media channels. Put it on your website. Submit to film festivals. Film festivals are a great way to get seen by a wider audience, a wider appreciative audience. I've loved every single festival I've gone to, and seeing your film well received by 400 plus people, the people you intended it for in the first place, is, well, there's nothing quite like it. Unlike Britain, filmmakers are really well received as artists in many other European countries, and this makes a very welcome change. It can also be a bit of a shock if you're not used to it. Many festivals are excited to accept submissions from independent filmmakers, and some have specific categories for no budget films. Submit your films to as many festivals as possible, as many as you can afford, and if your film is selected, use the festival as an opportunity for networking and promoting your work. I'd also say though that you really do need to have a bearing on festivals when you go in production. They have a lead-in and they have cut-off dates for submission. They sometimes have several deadlines, so each deadline gets more and more expensive. Be aware of that. Once you reach your edit, you can start looking at festival submission dates, because you have a much clearer idea by then as to when your film might be ready. Don't forget, every festival wants your world premiere. If they can't have that, they may settle for a continental or countrywide premiere. Then it quickly diminishes. If you go to the top tier ones, you'll only ever get into one of them. All of them are just going to be interested in your world premiere. But if you enter into local film festivals first, or head to some tiny festival, as I say, on the outskirts of Manila, then you can automatically cut your chances of getting into any good top tier festival. So if you do want to go for one of the big city festivals, then you really need to apply to them first. This becomes sticky though, because you can often find yourself waiting for a result as you watch other deadlines pass you by. But once a festival says yes, they won't take too kindly to you saying, yeah, that's great, but I'm just waiting to hear back from Toronto. They'll bin you. Festivals can also work out expensive. There are entry fees, at least you're no longer shipping 35mm cans across the world, and then there are flights, accommodations, etc. If the festival isn't picking up the tab, then you will be. Now, once you've done a bigger festival, you can then work your way down to the lesser festivals in terms of prestige until you get down to the local tiny ones. With a festival somewhere in the world every single day of the week, usually multiple, it really does come down to you taking a moment to look at the ones that appeal to you or are more disposed to the sort of film you're making. Maybe there's a country you've always wanted to go to. It can literally be as simple as that. Then chart a path across the coming year of what you want to go for and what you can then apply to whilst waiting on your top choice. It soon eats your year up, but you may of course have budgetary or other constraints that keep you at home. It's really worth thinking about now. There are also funds out there that can cover some of these costs. To get into a festival somewhere across the globe is no mean feat, so someone or some organisation may well step in and finance your attending once you tell them you've made it. They do need to hear though. The British Council shipped my film Cannes to Cannes and paid for me to go to several festivals across Europe that I wouldn't otherwise have made. Forever grateful for that. Look into options in your country. Everyone loves success, and if you pull off the extraordinary and complete your film to then have it accepted somewhere, someone is more likely as not going to want to be seen to support your endeavours. I'd also leave a caveat here and say it's not unknown for a film to start at a small festival and then suddenly catch fire, to then be lauded at bigger festivals, but this really is the exception, not the rule. So don't bank on that happening to you. Another horror story I've heard is of movies doing exceptionally well on the festival circuit, garnering laurels across the known world, only to then be told that their film has basically used up the entire audience all at these festivals, and they get turned down by sales and distribution as a result. With the changing distribution landscape though, and the distinct possibility of online distribution, this may not stop your film finding its fans. But let me also warn you, online distribution has gone the way of Spotify. The artist gets peanuts. It's a shark pool out there, make no mistake. As I said earlier, be very clear about what you want from your film and then aim for that. But festivals are potentially a truly great way to see the world. I'll talk about alternatives to the bog standard online route a bit later on. Reach out to local media. Local media outlets such as newspapers, radio and TV stations are often interested in featuring local artists and filmmakers. Reach out to local journos, offer to do an interview and provide them with a press release about your film. This can help generate interest in your movie within your local community and also give you the possibility of you getting picked up by a national. It never hurts to gain these slivers of publicity. Again, you can incorporate them into your media campaign, add them to your website, your socials, all useful even years later when you have it documented. The amount of stuff I didn't think to keep, especially when it existed only in print rather than online. Leverage your network. Use your personal and professional networks to promote your film. Reach out to friends, family members, work colleagues. Ask them to share your movie with their own networks. If you have any connections in the film industry, reach out to them too and ask for their help in promoting your film without compromising your movie. Is it possible to incorporate a local celeb or influencer somehow? Maybe a local bar or restaurant. They're going to help you in the marketing, but it's a fine line. Don't do it purely for the sake of the sell. Stay true to your vision first and foremost, especially at this level. Use free platforms. There are many free platforms that you can use to distribute your film online. YouTube, Vimeo, Amazon Prime. These are all platforms that allow you to upload and share your film for free. Take advantage of these platforms to get your film in front of a wider audience, but only after you've followed up every other avenue. I talk about aggregators in detail a little bit later. Hosting a screening is a great way to generate buzz around your film. Reach out to local theatres, community centres or libraries and offer to host screenings of your film. You can also host a screening at your local bar or restaurant and use your film to sell merchandise. Maybe you can even get a charity involved. My first premiere I did in Soho in London at the Curzon, and one of the execs brought in a breast cancer charity, so all the money that was raised went to them. It was a brilliant night. Merchandise. Creating merchandise such as t-shirts, posters or stickers can help promote your film and generate income. Use a print-on-demand service like Vistaprint or Teespring or Redbubble to create merchandise featuring your film's logo or artwork. You are definitely going to need a hard copy poster. The moment you start landing any festivals, especially the lesser ones, they'll require it. I have one poster from my first film that's very battered and folded, worn away at the corners from drawing pins because it travelled every festival and went up on every board. If you run any sort of online campaign, which you will, have a think about giveaways. So for everyone who attends screening at XY venue, there'll be t-shirts and mugs given away. Maybe a signed poster or two. These come into their own if you elect to run a crowdfunding campaign and you need to offer up the basic thank yous for being involved. But again, it's all a cost that you have to find up front. So consider the best options for you in your given situation. Maybe they can happen a little bit later once the movie is complete, gained a little traction, and you can find the money to fund it. but always be looking to finance festival appearances over mugs and teas. If that's the choice you have to make, collaborate. Collaborating with other filmmakers can help increase your reach and generate interest in your film. Reach out to other independent filmmakers and offer to promote their work in exchange for them promoting yours. I must say, you meet a great bunch on the festival circuit. You're all in the same bucket, taking your film around the country, around the world, and everyone has advice and insider knowledge, be it about the venue, the organisation, where to stay, what to avoid, where to eat, what sales outfits are in attendance. The list is endless. Keep hustling. Finally, remember that marketing and distributing a no-budget film takes hard graft, takes dedication, but keep hustling and don't be afraid to try new things. With persistence and creativity, you can get your film seen by a wider audience and so generate interest in your work. Who knows, maybe you get to that place where the money turns to you after a while of summing you up and says, so, what else you got? Do the work, keep going, pull in anyone who can help in the process of getting you over the line. Watch these videos again if you're unsure about something, and use the Facebook page because someone else has, more likely than not, been in exactly the same position as you are right now and worked out a way through. Carry on.